after our second holiday break, and we are all well rested and ready to get back into it. Excited to be back. Tonight we have our fourth, and I don't know if you players realize this is our final job draft of season two. We're gonna have like our final auction, but this is like the last actual draft tonight.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it's going to be a little bit of a special one, but we'll get into that in a minute. So tonight we have a lot of people. As I said, this is going to be a bit of a unique job draft, so a bunch of the players wanted to be present. Mr. Wizwazar is off being mayor of Ravengrow, so he is not present this week. But let's just go through. We've been gone for a break, so let's go through and do a quick introduction of who you are, who your character is. We have two new characters with us today as well, and you guys will be, yeah, you guys should probably do full descriptions here, I think. So let's go ahead. Let's start with Wade. Tell us a little bit about you, Wade, and tell us about Talavin, the new Company of Honor member.
Yes. Hi, I'm Wade. I am known on the internet as Wade. So that's pretty easy. But you can find me here at Level 1 Geek. Do this Tabletop Treasure Hunters, and then I do some of the other streams here and there. My new character is Talavin Olajor. I can't say his name unless I'm in his accent. It's great. He is an ancient elf that is a very devout follower of Erori. With that, he is part champion, part wizard, and he has a fantastic hummingbird familiar named Sir Atticus the Seventh. He's ancient as well. He's an ancient elf, so he's been around for 473 years. Just a little bit.
Very cool. Very neat build. Going to be very awesome to see him in the Company of Honor. So for anybody who missed it, so we had a little bit of a swap through some interesting turn of events. Wade was previously playing Dorian, who was killed on the job in battle with his own alliance members, which was a whole thing. I recommend going back and watching it. And then Otis, who was previously on the Company of Honor, actually ended up moving to Syndicate of Rights with Arena. So they had a bit of a swap. Wade is now with the Company of Honor, playing Talavin, which brings us to our next Company of Honor member, Anduin. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about you and about Maple.
Hi. I'm Onduin. And I am playing Maple, who is Leaf's youngest sister. I don't know exactly how old she is, but not as old as Talvin. She is a fighter who wields a shield and an axe, and boy does she love her axe. She is definitely a lot more sassy and not as lawful as her brother, but she's gonna try her best.
And also a cat folk, correct?
Yes, she's the cat folk.
And it's the whiskers,
hence
and things,
the makeup,
the Leaf's brother.
the teeth.
Yes. So Erica has been with the Company of Honor. She was previously playing Leaf, who was also killed on the same job. She is continuing her legacy with the Company of Honor, now playing Leaf's sister Maple. So thank you very much. Alex, tell us a little bit about you and Themis.
Well, my name is Alex, and other than here, you probably won't ever find me on the internet. Themis is an Aasimar cleric. She's not a cleric. She's a champion of Asmodeus.
You just told us how devout she is, though, because you thought cleric.
I mean, cleric. She resents the lawful evil stigma. She's just lawful, because good and evil is a construct, a mortal construct, and doesn't have any place in her proceedings. She's known as Arbiter Mom to the rest of the group. She gets things done and likes to make sure that everything is in order. Seriously, don't mess it up. Yeah, and she's out for blood almost all the time. Not as much as Dura, though.
Wonderful. What a lovely character. Let's talk to your wonderful guildmate, Brian. Tell us about yourself and Paya.
Hello, I'm Brian. I play Paya, Pock, who is a Tengu tiefling. I don't know why I forget that like every time. when I'm about to announce it. And he's kind of become just Themis's lackey. They
That's
are
such a great way, though.
they're a duo, but he just gravitates towards her command, and she's good at it. And he likes the finer things in life, so he's all about socializing and trying to get more power and gain in life, but all lawfully. And he will use the law to his advantage to ruin someone's life if they upset him or anything like that. So that's Paya. He's a really good guy.
Yes, indeed. That is the Contract Consortium. So let's go to Syndicate of Rights. Katie, tell us about yourself and Arena.
I'm Katie. I typically run production now on Level 1 Geek when it's not M running production for Tabletop Treasure Hunters. I play Irina. She is a cleric of Norgabur, and she, just wants to offer condolences to the Company of Honor and make sure that everyone is provided well.
What a kind soul. And let's talk about your partner and guildmate, Toby, and let us know about yourself and Otis now that you're over on Syndicate of Rights.
Yeah, I'm Toby. I've heard all these known on the internet. I'm also known as just Toby, but you can catch me here. You can catch me on Frost Geeks on like Mondays, some Mondays. I don't actually know the schedule of it. It's somewhere. You can find it. You can also catch me on the Side Quest In podcast. We release episodes weekly. So if you want to catch more of my stuff there. Here I play Otis, who is an investigator. He's all about figuring out the root of the crime and bringing justice to the world alongside his friends. And he's very sad that he lost his friend Leaf, and also sends his condolences to the Company of Honor, but enjoys his new home over in Syndicate of Rights.
Wonderful. Thank you, Syndicate of Rights. Let's go on to Foresight Faction. They are being represented by just one today. So, Tori, tell us a little bit about you and Dura.
Yep, I'm Tori. You can find me a lot here at Level 1 Geek. I DM here sometimes and play sometimes. And Toby, we're playing Frost Geeks on this upcoming Monday. So I hope that you'll put that on your calendar.
Tori knows this.
And I play Dura Dead Speaker, who is a half-orc spirit barbarian. She goes into a rage whenever her not necessarily friendly ancestor possesses her. Generally, that happens when there's undead around, but she also has quite a temper just in her regular life. And she is missing tonight her faithful friend and companion, Wizwazar McWalkie, who is a gnome life oracle, and her bestie, who she cherishes above all others. And that's Dora.
He is a wonderful person, that Wiz. Awesome. Thank you, everybody. I'm Chase. I'm the Game Master for Tabletop Treasure Hunters, also part of Level 1 Geek here, as is Emily, who is going to be playing Benagog at some point tonight and also running production. So that's us. Thought we would do a quick reintroduction since it's been a hot minute on Treasure Hunters. So thank you, everybody. Glad to see everybody back in chat. We're excited to get back at it. We're getting surprisingly close to the end of the season. It's flown by. So we've got our last round of jobs here before we start getting to the ending stuff. Before we dive into that, I do just have to say that Tabletop Treasure Hunters is our homebrewed campaign. And although it is our homebrewed campaign, we are using the Pathfinder 2nd Edition rule system, as well as the setting of Galarion. So many of the locations, names, deities that you have already heard and will hear are part of that setting and that game system, which is owned by Paizo. So Paizo, we love your game. It's provided us much entertainment. Thank you very much. So let's move on into some things. Really quick, I want to talk to you guys, chat. Thank you all so much for being here and for your support. We do have some chat interactions for you guys to use. We typically have quite a lot on Treasure Hunters, but since this is a job draft, we're not going to be rolling much, if any, dice tonight. It's more going to be on selecting the next round of jobs. So we do have some stuff. You can check out the mana if you guys want to ask some character questions, or if you guys would like to support some of the guilds. There's not going to be any direct support in this draft tonight, but if you do our exclamation point commands, which you can see by hitting exclamation point engage, you can see what things we have available for you guys. There is still a few things you can do. The exclamation point commands for the guilds will give them support via gold after this job draft. So that is helpful to them. Aside from that, I want to, well, me and some other people here, our new members, Talavin and Maple, would like to thank our wonderful Patreons. So Patreons, thank you. Let's go ahead and go over those, Maple and Talavin.
It's been a long time since I've spoken with these teeth. We would just like to thank Real Life Unicorn, Brian Fitzpatrick, and Alex for your support. We say thank you.
Yes, indeed, and very well, and as well as the side quest in Kimberly Young and Katie Young.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate our Patreons very much. We also appreciate everybody for being here to support. We appreciate our subscribers as well. There's just a big list of those, but we appreciate all of you. Honestly, it is great, and it keeps us able to do this, and we love it very much. So thank you guys. Okay.
And happy late birthday.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. All right. So now, before we get into the actual session itself, I want to talk about our current guild rankings, just so everybody's aware. We've been talking about maybe putting some of these stats up in Discord. We do have a link to our Discord down below in Twitch if you guys are interested in following some of that stuff. But for the current rankings, we tallied everything up. Now, this is considering the guild's coin that they've donated, as well as their coin they have in their pockets, as well as their potential to, if they were to just like donate everything they had, which is not advisable because you still have a session after your final donation. But if that were theoretically the case, that's what we base our rankings off of. Currently, leading, we have the Contract Consortium. So congratulations, you guys have pulled ahead this round. Still falling very close behind them is the Foresight faction, who was leading last job draft. And then we have the Company of Honor behind them. And sorry, Syndicate of Rights, you guys are currently tailing, but it is very close for everybody. It is definitely not over yet. That is just our current standings. So that's where we're at. Also, if you guys are curious, we have fan standings, which are basically how much you guys have supported in honor of those guilds. And they actually go in the same order this time. So first to last are also the fan favorites, according to our commands of supporting the different guilds. So that's some quick statistics for you guys. Now let's go ahead and jump into it. Do you guys have any questions before we start? Nope. Okay.
You're asking us or the chat?
I'm asking you. I mean, your chat can ask questions too, but I'm asking you players if you're ready to go.
I don't have a question.
Good.
Wade, do you have a question? Tori, anyone?
Nope.
Checking.
It sounds like we're ready to go. So let's do it. All right. So you guys are attending your job draft. This is a pretty regular process for you guys at this point. You know, your competition goes, you guys, as the current guilds participating in the competition this season, you are given first pick on basically the high prestige jobs, the high paying jobs. So you guys come here every month or so to pick up a new round of jobs. And that's what you guys are here for today. Some of you guys have shown up. Typically, you send one representative, though you are welcome to send more, and many of you have today. Maybe it's to meet the new guild members. Maybe it's just because you felt like attending. But you guys are sitting in your typical draft house, which basically looks like just kind of a small courtroom. You know, there's benches facing a podium up front, which is where Lord Physics typically sits to handle the accounting, and Emmerich makes his announcements. But you guys have been here for a little bit, and unusual to these, you guys do not see Emmerich or Physics here on time. They're typically awaiting here when you guys arrive, and they're here first, so it's unusual for you guys to get here before them. So after standing around for a couple minutes, maybe wondering what's going on, you guys see a familiar face. You guys have seen her around kind of the Alliance headquarters. She's an elf woman named Jelena. She is Emmerich's head assistant. So she takes care of his reception. She's always there tending to his office. She comes walking in. Emmerich sends his apologies. He and Physics are running a little bit late today. He is just asking that you sit tight, and they will be arriving as soon as they can. please feel free to discuss amongst yourselves, and please stay present, as it seems the draft will still continue.
Can we get some refreshments?
Yes, I could definitely take care of that for you. I'll bring some fruits and some water.
And wine.
I don't believe Emmerich likes people being inebriated for the draft. I will bring water.
Drinking wine does not necessarily cause the inebriation if you have one glass, you silly, silly thing.
I'm gonna have to agree with that. That one's
I'm with
Scottish.
Irina.
She
I
looks
think
back and
a
forth.
flagon of wine is in order. Thank you.
She looks back and forth, looking terrified, particularly at Themis and Arena. Yes, right away. And she will depart.
Red, please.
Yes.
Of course.
Or white.
This is the second time he's been late to one of these.
Otis is gonna walk away from the group and just kind of go stand off to the side.
Irina will follow.
Gur is sitting in the corner.
And you guys do see two new faces that you have not seen in here.
Oh my gosh.
Well, some of you have met them before, but I mean, to some of you, these are unfamiliar faces, and you guys have heard about them. You know, these are the replacements for the Company of Honor.
I change what Otis is doing.
Okay.
What Talavin? That's his name.
Yes.
Otis actually approaches Talavin.
Talavin, my boy, did you receive our gift?
I did, thank you. It was quite thoughtful and kind. I've been meaning to send you an invitation to my little restaurant, but as of yet I've been unable to. But do look out for it. It shall be coming in the mail soon.
Indeed, we'll look forward to it. Maple, it's good to see you.
Hello, Mr. O.
You can call me Inspector.
Inspector O.
Just Inspector, please.
I'll think about it.
Tell me what brings you both to this competition.
Well, I don't know it for her, but I think unfinished business would be the best for me. The best way to explain it without getting into the weeds.
I mean, it's very obvious that I'm here for my brother.
Indeed, I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
The assistant will come walking back in, holding a platter with some nice fresh fruit, a pitcher of water, and a very small pitcher of red wine, along with some glasses tipped, down, ready to be used.
Can I tell what like the vintage is or how good the wine is?
Yeah, it's actually like you can smell it as it's coming in. You've got a good nose for those kind of things. It's also labeled. She's got like the bottle kind of sitting on the side. It's emptied into the little pitcher. It's very expensive. Nice looking wine. It is red.
Thank you.
Taldor wine.
What fruits are there?
There's cantaloupe, there's melons, there's an assortment of berries, some sliced apples. All looks very fresh, very nicely cut.
Otis will take some apples and a wine.
Very good. Yeah, she'll set it out. Here you are. I wasn't allowed to provide too much wine. I did check, and they didn't want a large quantity. It's just against standards. I'm sure you understand.
We'll drink it fast so they don't notice.
Maybe pace
We'll
yourself.
keep the child cat out of the liquids and distribute it among the adults.
In my defense, I am actually 34.
She sets it down and just hurries out of that situation.
And Maple grabs that and drinks it all. Well, her glass, not the pitcher.
Oh, okay.
It's like the
gonna
whole
say-
thing.
No,
We're gonna have
There
three
would have
people
been some
on you.
drama.
Chase, we're gonna head to Foundry now because Themis just rolled initiative.
Irina's following it up.
Otis is joining. Goodbye, Maple.
No.
It's the cup,
Listen.
guys.
Where's Dorian when you need him?
Why would you need him? He's not going to solve this, but I can.
Oh, that. Sorry, that
You
wasn't
see,
Themis.
this
She
is not. This is good wine, but it's not the best. I do have a long wine from Jamare that I have in my sack that I keep for special occasions. But as I am introducing myself, I feel like this is an appropriate one to use it for. So I
Well,
will set it
then.
out.
Respect your elders, Otis. Shh.
Well,
I
well.
will set it out for everyone to
my.
partake.
Irina's gonna step
It
up to
shall-
Maple.
Hi.
There
Respect.
shall be no need for this. It is fine.
Pi is just sipping his wine and enjoying the conversation that he's seeing.
As I was saying, this will supplement the paltry sum that they have given us. You are more than welcome to finish it off. And he'll lay down the Jalmaranian wine.
Wow. Themis is my glass full or not yet?
It will have to be poured yourself. She did not pour the glasses for you.
Good. I will sort of brush aside the paltry wine and I will accept your offer. I'll say, very well, it is my most esteemed pleasure to make your acquaintance today. My name is Arbiter Themis. Most people here call me Arbiter.
It is a pleasure, Apter. My name is Talavin. Talavin Orajor.
She'll offer
Hi.
her hand to you.
They'll definitely take it.
Maple looks up from her cup and is like, my brother spoke of you. You're
Oh,
quite
did he?
saucy and very, very smart.
Saucy.
Saucy.
Pretty sure that's what he said, unless I misunderstood his cursive.
Well, I did work with your brother, and I found him to be quite charming. I apologize for your loss.
Thank you. It was quite hard, but it's okay.
You will be sorely missed. Are you here to avenge him?
More like take care of his legacy.
Understood. And if vengeance comes your way, well,
Unfortunately, the person that killed him is already dead. So I can't exactly kill the dead.
Dura like lets out a chuckle, like a in the corner. She doesn't say anything. Just that's all.
Yeah.
Oof. Also, Arena, there has been a Patreon request for a genuine smile, which I know that Arena's not capable of, but could you give us your best?
Otis begs to differ that statement.
That's true. Is that your attempt?
This whole request for the smile bit.
It's
needs
there.
To end.
It's right there.
Thank you, Arena. That
End
was
that
lovely.
Patreon support immediately.
Beautiful.
Otis is gonna drink some wine and smoke a cigar. He'll offer a cigar to anyone.
Anyone would like a cigar?
Well, I think I'll actually have one of those, please, Otis.
It's Inspector.
He'll hand you one.
Inspector. She lights it.
And-
Yeah, Irina doesn't have patience for this. She's gonna pour herself wine and nod to the arbiter. Arbiter.
Arena,
It is good to see
Pleasure.
you again.
likewise. How have you been keeping?
Busy. And yourself?
Likewise. Busy, busy. Hope you've been keeping the inspector out of trouble.
Of course.
Excellent.
You guys hear chirping and growling sounds outside as you guys see your Nemas kind of just outside the courthouse running around and playing with each other.
Aw,
That's
that's not Dura doesn't make that sound, but Tori does.
I'm gonna just take some of the fruit and give it to the Nemas.
Maple purrs slightly.
This feels like one of those awkward like work parties.
Yeah.
Otis is gonna walk up to Themis and just holding his drink and stand there for a second.
Officer, did you get our gift?
Inspector, I did. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
I should
Yes.
say I might find quite a use for them in the future. I hope.
I hope you will as well.
You guys hear this aggressive growling sound out front as Themis's Nemus aggressively grabs the fruit from the others and goes running off with it.
Wonderful.
Arbiter, your Nemus matches your personality.
He is quite radiant, isn't he? I picture him like strutting around with like these big grapes hanging out of his mouth, just being a total asshole. Like, I have the grapes and you don't.
Exactly. Now, are you guys wearing your fancy new signet rings that you received from the royal family last session? Those who
Hell
participated?
yeah.
Yes.
I'm also wearing a
yes.
very
Yeah.
fancy dress.
Oh, nice.
I'm not in my
Dressed up
armor
for it.
today.
I'm in a new purple suit.
Ooh.
I should have said that. I'm in a new purple suit.
You guys
Beautiful.
so
Looks
fancily dressed
lovely
for the
on him.
occasion.
Yeah, it's a work party, dude.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
How about last quarter's numbers, Themis?
Last quarter's numbers were phenomenal. I'm hoping for an even better quarter this year.
Indeed, indeed.
Hmm
Well, according to one of Leaf's letters, aren't you supposed to go to hell or something?
Oh, yes.
How does that
And
work? Do you just like how exactly do you get there?
I can show you.
Oh, I'd love that. There's
I
some
do
people I
not
want to
think
meet.
you would love that. Not
There's some-
her way.
Oh, I have some vellum if you'd like to write something up for her arbiter.
Maybe later. But all it takes is a few promises and doing your duty as you're told, and striving towards glory each and every day in the eyes of His Infernal Majesty.
So when you're ready to go, do you just like poof and you're where you're supposed to be?
I think you'll see one day, soon enough, my child.
That sounds exciting. Well, congrats. No. Good luck.
Oh, I won't need luck where I'm going, but thank you anyway.
Good hell.
Good hell. Wonderful.
Good hell.
Long life.
With that quote, you guys see Emmerich and Physics come striding into the guild house. Neither of them look happy. Emmerich is pacing kind of angrily. He doesn't really address anybody. He just goes walking up to the front. Physics, with his shorter stature, is kind of jogging behind him, also looking quite grumpy, which is not unusual for him. Physics will go take his place at the podium where he typically sits. He's going to pull some large books from underneath of it and stack them on top of the chair to kind of raise up his height, take a seat. Emmerich will just be folding his arms for a moment, looking down at the ground, looking quite upset.
As they walk in, Paya's going to use this new greeting that he learned and hold up his wine and say, "Good hell to you, Emmerich."
He kind of like glances at you and mutters something kind of inaudible under his breath and just continues to walk towards the front.
Can I see that? I have read lips.
Yeah, you can tell he wasn't actually even speaking. I think it's just kind of like a angry grumble and the words just kind of got lost.
Can't read grumbles.
Complete gibberish. He'll go stand up at the front for a moment. I have grim news for each of you.
There's no more wine.
You're never going to be on time again.
I have more wine.
Roan's
How-
been attacking
yeah.
our alliance members. I'll cut off the joking before we get to a place we don't want to be.
I'm new here. Who's that?
Have you heard about the attack on Absalom in our alliance 5 years ago?
Yeah.
Yes, it's the same Lich. He's been
Huh.
surfacing again. He gave
Huh.
trouble to a couple of our guilds a few jobs back. You'll recall. Well, we've been investigating ever since. We've been working on a plan. Unfortunately, that plan is going to have to escalate quicker than we wanted to. We've gotten several reports today of our alliance members being attacked, many of them killed, different locations, all of them being linked to Roan.
How
Then
many?
we've lost at least a dozen so far today.
Is
Well, different-
Raven Grow safe?
This is far from Ravengrow. mostly close to Absalom here. Clearly trying to get our attention. We had an exploding corpse sent up to the front gate here with a message from him before it blew up, and then killed a couple others. The message he stated is that we are to deliver the corpse of Kara Brightstead if we want these attacks to stop. This is an atrocious demand. Kara Brightstead is a valuable member of our alliance, one of the League of the Hunt, and we do not give in to demands such as these.
So what do we do?
We kill the Lich. It is simple. Dora stands up. What is plan? When does
Kind of
it
nods at
start?
you. Kill the Lich is the plan, but I'm afraid it's not so simple. Now, he's declared war on our alliance. He's targeting us specifically. He's bitter that not only we took his apprentice away, Kara, but he's bitter that we repelled his attack 5 years ago. And now he's out for revenge. He's dangerous. Now, since we heard his name resurface, Kara has been investigating alongside us. She's a bright young woman, and she's come up with some valuable information. We have a plan. And so we're dropping your jobs for this round. This is now our top priority. We're dealing with this now. Do any of you oppose?
No, this is more important.
Good.
We need
Agreed.
to sober up.
I thought you would agree. Now, you all have been marked as some of the strongest of the Alliance this year. That's why you were nominated for this competition. Therefore, you're going to be spearheading some of these important operations, including attacking Roan himself. Now, we have many capable members. We have some legends that are going to be joining us in this attack as well, but we need them on the front line. You're going to be sneaking past and attacking Roan directly. We have a plan. It's in 2 parts, and we need you to make a decision. Now, we know the competition is big for this guild, and it is still going to remain intact. We're not going to end it. We will be paying you for this job because we know this is important. We know it's dangerous, and we know that this is your livelihood. So the Alliance will be paying. You may donate back whatever you wish, and it will be counted as donations. You may keep anything you plunder, but the job is to stop Roan here. We need 2 parts for this to go off for it to work. Now, we found a phylactery, which we thought was his, and we confirmed was his, though in a way it was not fully his. It was half of his phylactery. We found he has some kind of strange way where he split it in 2. We heard from a contact in our research that we know where the second half of it is. It's a contact that we trust. We've paid them a lot of money, and they will be escorting us personally to make sure that this is actually where the second half of the phylactery is located. So, first part of the job, we need to locate this phylactery half. It's located in the Sarkoris Scar, the old world wound. Very dangerous territory. We're going to be sending 1 group of you into the Scar to retrieve this phylactery. Now, I don't know how much you know about this. There's disrupting teleportation magic there. We can't simply get you teleported into there. We can get you to the edge of the Scar. The rest of it, you're going to have to walk. If our intel is correct, once you're inside the shrine where the phylactery is located, we can get Kara teleported inside there to you with an item that she has on hand. 1 group of you will be going to the Scar, finding the shrine, bringing Kara into the shrine, and destroying the phylactery. The second half of the plan, and these have to happen simultaneously, which is why we're splitting you up. We cannot have Roan go defend his phylactery with his full forces. We're going to launch a full-on assault on his keep. We found it in Grey Dirge. We're going to be attacking his stronghold with all of our forces. While we do this, we're hoping to simultaneously draw attention away from the phylactery and also create a diversion for the second group of you to sneak into his stronghold past the main forces and attack him directly. We need to be careful with our communication and our timing during this. Now, as Kara has told us, when you destroy the phylactery as a whole, it will not slay him instantly, but it will stop him from regenerating like last time. It also will give him a staggering blow. It will be painful to him. It will weaken him. We need to destroy this and then have the second group attack. He's a powerful being. He was powerful last time we faced him, and it can only be worse now. So this will be dangerous. I would like you all to think about this. Consider if you are all willing to do this.
Yep, I'm good.
Very good. That's what I hope to hear, and I hope to hear it from each of you. Now, I know this is new news. You haven't had time to scout. Your scouts haven't scouted the locations. So we're going to give 2 weeks for you guys to send your scouts out, do your own research. We don't want anybody getting too close to Roan's stronghold or to the Scar. Scout cautiously, focus more on research. We don't want to alert him to what's going on. It needs to stay secretive. So we'll give you 2 weeks, figure it out, and then when we return, we'll do a sort of draft again. We will do a typical bid. We'll try to keep some of the tradition intact. Unless you can decide on a way you want to handle it, we'll do a secret bid for who gets to pick which portion of the job and who wants to pair up with who. We'll do that when you return in 2 weeks. Consider it, prepare, get information. Any other questions before we dismiss? I'm sorry for the grim news and for the serious tone, but it's time we put an end to this. Everybody's dismissed. I'll see you in 2 weeks, same time.
You want a drink?
He'll just shake his head, and he's going to gesture to physics, and they're going to go walking on out. Before he exits, he's going to kind of wave everybody out. Dura, can I speak to you for a moment before you leave?
Yes.
Does everybody else leave the room here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Very good.
I guess.
So everybody walks out. Dura, you kind of lag behind. Are you doing all right?
Why do you ask this thing?
I've just received concerned reports about your well-being. We've heard you've been a tad erratic lately. Is everything in order? Is there anything we can do to help?
Who says these things?
Just reports. Concerned allies.
Allies. Is that the word they used?
It's the word I'm using.
Hmm.
Now, I just want to make sure you're okay. I want to make sure your head is in the right place for this job. You are one of our greatest warriors, and we would love to see you greatly involved in this. I just want to make sure that your emotional and mental state is fit.
She stares hard at him for a minute and says, I was born for this thing. This is what I do. Do not ask me this question again.
He's going to give a little smile, and he's going to give you a little pat on the shoulder. I don't doubt it. I just wanted to check in.
She'll kind of shrug him off and then just walk out, not like body him, but she'll kind of like brush past him.
She leaves. Maple will have had her ear pressed against the door. Trying to listen. She
Doris-
probably didn't hear anything, but you definitely bump her on your way out. She's just like,
Doris stops and looks at you, Maple. Is this a joke to you?
what?
All of this job?
Not particularly.
Good. It shouldn't be.
Correct.
Be careful who you trust around here.
I think I'll just trust myself. I think I'm pretty trustworthy.
This is probably good. And she'll leave.
Wonderful. All right. So as you guys head out of the courthouse here, you guys are going to be just stopped by a familiar, maybe pleasant, maybe pestering face, depending on your perspective, of Benagog. So for game terms, if you guys would like to do a blind bid for who you're going to partner up with, it'll be a blind bid, just like when we normally do a pick order for the job drafts. Whoever bids the most will get to choose their partners on this job first. Now, these jobs are there's only 2 jobs this time. Both of them are going to be 2 sessions long, so they're going to be larger sessions than normal. You will be with the same group on both portions of that job, and whoever has bid the most in this portion for the pairing of that job will get priority pick for loot this time. So if you guys would like to do that, if you would like to bid anything, go ahead and send that to me in Discord, and I will take a look at those and tally that up while you guys are being interviewed by Benagog. So enjoy. I'll see you guys in a moment.
Oh, hello. Competitors? would you mind just waiting just for a moment so I can speak with you?
Do we still have that wine?
There's
Dog,
another
it's
bottle.
so good to see you again.
Thank you, Paya. It is always a pleasure to speak with you as well.
Who are you?
Ah, Maple. We will speak in just a moment, okay? I would really like to talk to the Syndicate of Rights first, if possible.
Okay, lady.
We are in the middle of our wine.
I'm sure the wine will be there when we're done. Just think of it as more time to drink wine while I'm talking to the others.
It is slowly oxidizing.
But the tannins are softening.
Maple's
Very well.
gonna lean over to Talvin and be like, I actually know who she is.
Do fill me in.
Apparently she's a nosy reporter. And
I'm a historian.
Quieter.
Historian, actually.
Yes, we will have to work on your quiet voice. Keep going.
I'm going to draw aside the Syndicate of Rights so that we're alone-ish. And Venegon's just going to step over and attempt to wrap Arena in the biggest hug.
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
I am so sorry about the loss of Dory and Niall. I know
Remove your hands from me immediately.
I know exactly how special he was, and he was just a gift, you know?
Remove your hands. I will not tell
I understand.
you.
I understand.
Again.
You must be beside yourself. I didn't mean to put you in an awkward place. Ugh.
You should really have consent before touching someone.
You're right. I'm just... Can I hug you?
You may.
Oh, big hugs. Big hugs all around.
Otis will hug back.
Otis. I have to say, I was quite surprised when I heard about you transferring over to the Syndicate of Rights.
Why were you surprised?
Well, coming from the Company of Honor, whose morals are vastly different, what about the Syndicate of Rights drew you here?
He looks at Irina, and smiles, and will say,
I was just looking for somewhere that would take me in after the loss of my friend. And the Syndicate of Rights was there, when no one else was.
Oh, I thought that you had such a close friendship with Themis. Is that incorrect?
Themis, is the Arbiter, is one of my closest friends.
And yet she was not there for you during your time of need. She is scribbling frantically in her notebook.
Do not write that down. The Arbiter was there for me. We have a different kind of relationship.
Then your relationship with Irina...
I am not being baited into these questions.
What is wrong with you?
There's no baiting. I'm merely trying to accurately interpret what Otis is telling me. Please, feel free to correct me, Otis.
You are not accurately interpreting anything. You are putting words in my mouth and changing my sentences.
My apologies. The Syndicate of Rights, I twitch to Irina.
Otis pulls out his investigator's journal and starts taking notes.
Perfect. Oh, I do.
Are they scribbling? They're having a scribble off?
Oh, yeah. Just back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah, well, I heard.
Look who broke!
She can't even.
Irina, I know, you're beside yourself about Dorian.
It finally happened.
I knew it. The loss of Dorian Niall has hurt us all. Please take
Put
a
your
moment.
notebook away.
I cannot.
As long as it's like Death Note, when you finish writing, just whoosh, like with your arm like straight up, and there's a flash in the background.
Do you have any other questions?
Of course.
I will not answer any more about my choices.
I understand. I understand.
There was a position open in the Syndicate of Rights. Otis needed some place to go. There was an invitation sent. It was accepted. That is the end of the story. Do you understand what you will write about this situation?
I understand exactly what you want me to write about this situation, yes.
That is the fact, And that is what you will report on. Are they facts?
Of course, I only write facts. I have another question,
No.
but it's not related to the other thing that you don't want to speak of anymore. How does Otis fill the large shoes of Dorian Nile?
His idiot shoes were not large.
Well, I am not a murderer, so the shoes are easy to fill. We toss them out with the trash.
Hmm.
In the background, Mabel coughs really loud.
You tossed him out with the shoes. I see what you're saying. But then let me phrase this differently, though we may have different opinions about Dorian Nile. He is, how are you working well together? Do you find each other getting along well during jobs? Along with others?
What question are you asking? How do Irina and I get along, or how do we get along with others? You've asked 2 questions. Do you want one answer?
I would love 2 answers, thank you.
Perhaps you should keep your questions in order, Benagog.
Are you doubting my name?
I'm doubting your reporterness.
I'm not a reporter, I'm a historian.
That explains everything.
I'm glad
I'm glad
we could clear that up.
I believe Irina and I are done with these questions.
She looks down at her very lengthy list of questions.
Otis grabs it.
Okay.
And
Do you have
starts-
anything relevant
That
to
is
ask?
quite rude. In the margins, there is a doodle of Dorian and her name plus Niall afterwards.
Stop.
Haya is in the background watching all of this, and he looks thrilled.
Oh, she's overcome with emotion. Just tears.
Otis
Give it back.
pulls out his pen and goes,
The Arbiter is swirling her wine, like right next to Paya, just staring, loving every minute.
You can't just take someone else's papers. How would you feel if I took your papers?
You could try, Benagog.
But that's not the point. The question is,
I have a question for
are you treating others the way you want to be treated, Otis?
Judging from this picture, how did you fill your Dorian's shoes?
I am the historian here, and I am not
And
a
I-
child.
Am the inspector.
Not related. It's unrelated. Please give me my list back.
Your list is full
I
of
will
nonsense.
be speaking
This list
to-
is balderdash.
I will be speaking to Emmerich about this.
You can speak to Emmerich. I will call him right now. Emmerich? He's busy.
Benagog. Dora will stand and kind of raise her voice.
Dora, he's
do you-
taken my things.
Do you wish to ask me questions instead?
I
Well,
think it
let's
looks
just
like
see
she's
what-
taking a knee.
Questions she has for you.
Otis will flip to the page.
Where is your little friend? Is question number 1.
Inspector, I asked Benagog if she wanted to ask questions. I am not taking questions from you. at
Otis
this
will
time.
hand the notebook back.
Many more questions, historian.
I think that I have learned enough about your character, Otis.
Enough about his character and your obsession with Dorian Nile.
She's so red. From her neck to her hairline is just beet red. This has been the most unprofessional interview. I have permission from Emmerich to speak to everyone to discover if there are things going on in this competition that should not be going on after Shadara cursed her name.
So you are a reporter.
Then
No.
why don't you ask the direct question?
I've
Stop
been asking
searching around.
questions, and you are taking my things.
Okay, you should stand in the middle. We'll all circle around you, and then her.
Now.
Young one, that is quite enough. We shall wait our turn. You're okay.
Yes, sir.
I
Now.
will see you later, Benagog.
And she will turn on her heel and march towards Dura.
Idiot reporter and her obsessions.
I agree.
Hello, Dura.
Benagog.
How have you been?
I have had happier times,
Understand.
but I am still here, which is more than can be said for some.
So true. And where is Wiz this fine day? Mayoral duties, I assume.
Yes. Dora will pull out a handkerchief that has it's clearly Wiz's, like it's not hers. And she kind of awkwardly hands it to Benagog and says, I think if Wiz was here, he would want you to take this for the moment.
Thank you.
Is it like this big?
So little.
Are you okay?
I am not used to being treated that rudely. I understand that you are all tough adventurers, but that is not my experience with life.
Sadly, I think that you cannot expect much more from the Syndicate of Rights.
I hate to press into this, but you understand I have to ask some hard questions sometimes. There have been rumors circulating that you have not been as fine as you are claiming right now.
Such as?
That you have had quite a temper, banging on doors and yelling and grabbing Otis.
Grabbing Otis.
Yes, in a tavern, I believe, called Fortune's Rest.
Yes. I did not know him to be such a weakling that he would panic about me grabbing his arm.
Well, I have seen his habits of grabbing for himself.
This is true. This altercation was nothing more than a heated discussion in the tavern.
And I have seen how he can escalate situations that need not be escalated. Sorry, I'm sorry. I shouldn't let my own experiences color the truth.
I will say this about that conversation. It had 3 of us involved, and it was not just me who, what you say, escalated. I was trying to get answer from Otis, but as you have seen, he does not like answering questions that are not his own. He prefers to ask.
The weight of being an inspector, I suppose some might argue. How do you feel with the recent deaths? Do you feel safe and comfortable to continue this conversation? Emmerich reports that there was nothing foul afoot.
I do not know if this is true.
Oh. For the first time, pen touches paper with Dura. Do go on.
I received package.
A package?
Yes. I believe someone may be targeting Wiz, or perhaps targeting me by targeting Wiz.
Do go on. What this package made it clear that they were targeting Wiz or yourself? Was it the Foresight faction in general, or you two specifically?
It was delivered to me, and it contained a severed gnome finger. But it was not Wiz's. I checked. I do not know who delivered this package.
A severed gnome finger?
Yes, and had some riddle on it. It said something about me running out of time.
Do you remember the riddle exactly?
She'll actually, she has she doesn't have the note. She gave it to somebody else. She will think and say, I do not remember it, but it said something like finding, let's see, the One is easy to find. This is it. One is easy to find. Have you seen the other 9? The clock is ticking and you are running out of time. That is what it said.
Running out of time? Oh. Dura, I am so sorry. Did you want a hug?
No.
Oh, this must be terrible for you. You and Wiz are very close, and for someone to be threatening you, and it could. You think it's alliance related, or could this possibly? I will think upon many things. By the way, why are you guys leaving? Shouldn't the draft be taking place?
I do not know if this is news for me to share. This is alliance business.
I'm sure it's fine.
You can ask somebody else.
Dura, after all we've been through, and I'm willing to help you with this finger, you won't tell me what's going on? I'm specifically here to interview you and find out what's going on with this competition and to ensure the safety of everyone here after what happened with Shadara, curse her name.
You ensure safety.
Well, as much as the eyes of those around Galarion can help.
Well, how about you find me something useful about this package and then maybe I will give you something useful in return. But until then, I owe you nothing.
I understand, Dura. Well, thank you for your time. I will allow you to be on your way.
I hope I have treated you better than the inspector.
Well, you didn't take my things, which he had no consent to do. Anyhow.
He does many things without consent. And she'll pat your shoulder and walk off.
Let's see, we've got the Company of Honor. Hello, yes, the new ones.
Yes.
Company of Honor. How are you? I am Benagog. I am the T3H historian.
Benagog, it is a pleasure to meet you. I am Talivin Urajor. And this is... Well, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes. Maple's gonna stand up extra tall in front of Benagog. I'm Leaf's sister.
I am well aware of your heritage. Would you also like a hug?
I mean, unless you want scars on your back from me scratching you?
Just keep the hands turned away.
That's not how that works. I can't just, like, hug you like this. I have to hug you like this.
Well, my condolences for your loss. I adored Leaf. We had the best conversations about himself and Otis and the children they had together.
What?
Well, they adopted many children together. Many orphans, in fact.
You know what happened to them afterwards?
Well, supposedly Otis is still taking care of them. I was going to ask him about it, but...
I mean...
Well...
They weren't together.
Well, I'm aware. That does not mean that they didn't take care of the children together.
He would be a terrible dad, and so would Otis.
He would be a terrible... Why would he be a terrible father?
Because he doesn't like children.
Otis doesn't like children?
Oh no, my brother doesn't like children. As for Otis...
You see, she writes down in quotation marks. And
yeah,
then,
yeah, you quote me on that.
Well-being, question mark. All right. Oh, okay. Well.
Can we further this along? We do have some pressing things we must attend to. It's okay. I understand. Your questions. Sorry.
The last group of Company of Honor was much kinder. I suggest you look into that. Anyhow, the questions. Talavin, I believe you have left the Company of Honor once before. Why return now?
Well, I guess you could say I'm paying a debt.
To Leaf?
Who? No. Don't
Leaf's
worry
my
about
brother.
it. Yes,
Paying
sorry.
a debt? Okay.
I'm returning a favor. It's of no consequence.
But you're not being
to you.
coerced.
Why would I be coerced?
I am just supposed to ask these questions.
Who gives you
Right.
these questions?
That is none of your concern, Maple.
They're so weird.
No,
She
I am
is
not
so
being
deflated at this point, just absolutely crushed.
I can't.
I am not being coerced. No offense, but I am 473 years old.
So you're tired.
I do not get.
Yes, respect your dumb elders.
Do I?
Did you say dumb elders?
Did you?
I said dumb.
Damn.
People?
No,
Understand.
I am not tired. I'm actually quite fit for my age. But
I never quite
what
active,
I'm saying-
I believe. You are starting a restaurant, is that correct?
reopening, as it were. The last time I was here, I had this little restaurant, and I look to reopen it again. Cooking is a pastime and a passion of mine. It has been for many hundreds of years.
Ah, I see. And what food do you serve at your restaurant?
All sorts. But I do specialize in stews, fish, and some
Fish
desserts.
stews?
Mm,
Fish stew.
those are some of the options, yes, but they are not mutually
Exclusive.
exclusive.
Yes, I
Thank you.
understand. All
Just
right.
like you wish you were with apparently Dorian.
I'm sorry?
What?
Did you... I felt like you were saying something cruel just now. Would you like to speak again?
I mean, it probably wasn't cruel, but sure.
I see.
Continue with your weird questions.
I see that you have a hummingbird familiar. Is that correct?
I do.
Oh, so
Would you like to
cute.
see him?
I would love to see him.
And Talavin will let out a little whistle, and a black and yellow hummingbird will pop out of the front pocket of Talavin's robes
Oh,
and pop up and flutter and just come up right next to you and kind of give you like a little tap on the nose with its beak, and then it'll flutter and line right back onto Talavin's head. Yes, this is Sir Atticus the Seventh.
Sir Atticus the Seventh. Adorable. Now,
He is, yes.
I've heard tell, and I don't see how it's possible because he's so tiny, but he helps you cook?
He does. He does help me cook. I have a special connection with him that gives him powers that Hummingbird might not necessarily have. But he is quite a good cook in his own right, and has gotten very adept at using utensils to cook with his little claws.
Wings? Or with his wings
His
or his feet?
feet.
Adorable.
His feet.
Adorable.
The wings are used so he can spin around and stir.
Mm.
Or lift.
Well, I know you were all in a hurry, but just a final question. Maple, are you joining the Company of Honor to fulfill the desires of your brother? Or is there something else that draws you here?
His desire was to help people, so sure.
Again, I am so sorry for your loss. I hope that we have the chance to speak again, you two.
I don't, but okay.
I would love to speak as much as you would like at any time. If you ever need help, let me know.
I am excited to learn
feel
more.
free to come by the restaurant if it does open up.
That was what I was about to say. I would be happy to visit.
Perfect. It's been a pleasure.
Pleasure's been mine. Thank you. Contract Consortium. Themis, Paya, hello. Oh, Paya, I'm
Hello,
so
dear.
sorry. I couldn't quite hear you.
Oh, Benagog. Pardon me.
Good wine?
Very good wine, yes. It's so good to see you, Benagog. I must say that I just finished reading your historical essay on Chiliacs, and I've actually got a copy here, and I would love your autograph. It was delightful. And he's gonna hand it out.
She flushes red once more, and
Thank
this
you so
time
much.
with joy. And happily signs it to you to love Paya. I'm a huge fan of your work. I'm so glad we had the opportunity to meet. Let me know if you ever need any
Benagog,
help.
Thank you.
Oh, my
Thank
pleasure.
you. You are a true historian. A wonder. Thank you. He'll tuck it away in his robes.
I do prefer history to interviews, but yes, thank you. People who are dead tend to be easier to deal with for some reason.
Yes.
Okay, I actually heard you were in Chiliax recently. How was your trip?
It was wonderful.
What were you doing there?
Oh, just acquainting myself with friends and dignitaries and magistrates, you know.
Things of the contract world.
Yes.
I have to ask, I have been so curious. How does the contract world work its way into this kind of competition?
Well, Arbiter, actually, if you'd like to take that one.
I've always loved to take that one. Well, you see, justice always prevails. So, the more ingrained we can get the law into our dealings, the more victorious we are. And you'll see it comes in quite handy.
Well, it's obviously come quite in handy. You are leading the pack. This competition right now looks to be your oyster. I don't know if people use that term, but that's fine. Again, dead people are so much easier to deal with.
I see.
Apologies, it's been a rough day.
I understand. You're in safe hands over here.
Thank you. But yes, anything else about the contract world benefiting? Like, not so generalized, but in specifics.
Well, when was the last time you entered a legally binding contract, Benagog?
I suppose when I signed off to have my book printed.
Excellent. And what were the stipulations of this contract? What did you have to fulfill to make it work?
But there was timing of to when it was supposed to be done, saying how any proceeds would be paid out, things of that nature.
So, this contract essentially ensured you your wealth and that your intellectual property would be protected by whoever was publishing your book.
Yes. And similar things can relate to jobs, I see.
And then should this publishing company fail to protect your interests and fail to deliver money they promised you, who would have your back?
The legal system.
Absolutely. So who can you count on to make it right?
Well, the legal you, Arbiter, I suppose.
The Arbiter is the correct answer. Yes, Benagog.
So, as you'll see from our standings, I think the contract consortium can always be counted on to make it right. Always.
Ooh. Gave me a bit of a chill there, Themis. Or Arbiter, my apologies.
Always make it right, and always make sure it's fair.
And in writing.
And in
Absolutely.
writing.
All right. Now, Arbiter Themis, I just have to say, your wings, they are gorgeous.
Curious.
Oh. I'm sorry, was I not supposed to bring that up? Is that insensitive?
Just wondering how you found out about that.
Oh, I had a note dropped by.
Who dropped by this note?
I unfortunately was not there to receive it myself. I could look into it if you wish.
Oh, you must.
I hope you're not gonna plan on having me write up a contract for that. I will just tell you if I find out.
Are you afraid of a contract?
No, I was just trying to make a joke to alleviate this sudden tension.
The law is no joke.
I understand. Artemis, I'm sorry.
It's quite all right, darling. Have you had some wine?
I haven't. I would really like some.
Here. She'll hand you over a fresh glass.
It's just shaking in her hand.
Darling, be careful. I'll put my hands on Benegog's. Don't spill. It's quite pricey.
See, this other question, I don't know if it is also appropriate. Please tell me if I should not ask this. But the prince.
Ask away.
The prince. Tell me about the prince and your dealings with him. Has that been of the nature of law?
I suppose you could say that the contracts I enter into are always binding.
And if I was going to expound upon that in a written way, how would I do that?
Tactfully and with the right adjectives.
Oh. She writes down steamy. Understood.
Yes, it does get quite hot in hell.
Oh, arbiter.
Quite.
And have you been enjoying your Nemesis? Numerous Nemes?
Nemas, and yes.
You know, I must say, when Paya and I were bravely scouring through that cave, encountering that poor lost soul, we didn't know what a Nemus was either. And full of despair we were. In fact, no one has seen a Nemus in several hundred years. I don't know where they came from. Out of the jungle. Have
They
you ever been
sought
to the
us out.
jungle?
I have been to the jungle. That's my next book coming out, Paya.
Oh, which jungle?
You'll find out. I'm sorry. A non-disclosure agreement.
Mustn't break that.
Of course not. If anyone understands that, it's you two.
I hope just mentioning that you're writing about a jungle didn't break that
It did not.
agreement.
It did not.
I should hope.
Not very many jungles this side of Galarian.
Last question, for I know we are short on time. Why is this draft different? You are all leaving instead of choosing jobs.
Well, Benegog, respectfully, we're going after a lich. I assume you heard.
Rowan?
Did you just arrive? Perhaps you stepped over the exploding corpse on the way in?
It was cleaned up before I got there.
I wonder who did that ghastly job.
I must say.
I wonder if it's that twat that delivered the wine earlier. She would deserve it. Can you believe it? They tell us that that we can't be inebriated for a job draft. Look at the swivel they brought us. That could intoxicate a fly.
Shameful.
Quite.
Benegog.
Yes.
You know how much I adore and respect you.
Of course. Thank you. The feeling's mutual.
But I am a little surprised that a historian of such qualifications as you was not aware of the draft for this particular job.
I think that as the official chronicler of the competition, that they would have given you a little more clearance.
So you all
Dreadful,
knew.
really.
You all knew that this was happening before you arrived.
Oh no.
No.
So when?
Not at all. No one tells us anything in this place, actually.
So
if you can believe it.
So you all showed up for a normal job draft, like I did, and you're surprised that I don't know beforehand. I'm a historian. I deal with things of the past.
She was too busy doodling in her book about Dorian Nile.
You just seemed so surprised when I told you that we're going after a lich, as if it was the first you'd heard of it.
Well, no.
When we just heard about it 30 minutes ago.
My apologies, Maya. I was surprised. I, of course, know of the Lich, and I have much documents about the last time this competition encountered Rowan.
Oh, I'd love to read those.
Well, maybe we can work something out. But I did not realize that this competition would be related into quelling this specific problem, as you are all entered, I'm sure, into contracts to do other sorts of jobs to earn money. So it is my surprise to find you not working on other jobs while other people deal with this Rowan situation.
I suppose I would answer your query with one of my own. Who is there? Other than us, other than those tuckered out drunkards with the gold bloods and those retired old hermits in the league, who else is there?
She is
Who
just
else?
scribbling fiercely. Well, I assumed that Finley and Faithy would come back.
Oh, I'm sure they will, but two against a lich.
So true. So true. Okay, well.
And one
I've
of them is a
already-
plant! A plant, for Asmodeus' sake! I could light him aflame with just looking at him.
My Nemo would eat it.
I think you
I
would
hear he was
find
possessed
that
by a cat.
Sapisto is a character you would have to behold to understand what you're talking about. Sapisto is quite incredible.
Certainly, I've never seen what is it, Alishu?
A leshy.
A leshi.
Mm.
Right.
Well, that is my time. I'm sure you all are in a hurry, and it's been a pleasure.
Benagog,
Yes, Paya.
I know it's been a rough evening, but truly, always a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's nice to know that we have an advocate in you.
It is always such a pleasure speaking with you too. Glowing remarks. Glowing.
Would you be interested in a signed copy of the Dorian Daily, his last issue?
Yes, please.
All right, we'll talk after.
Okay. I think that it's time for us all to go to break. Thank you guys. And we'll grab drinks and bio and all of that. And when we back, we'll do a draft.
All right, we are back, everybody. Thank you very much for hanging around for that quick break. Thank you to Benagog for those wonderful interviews. They were cracking me up. Apparently, the party has outleveled Benagog because it was a rough evening for her. All right, so we are back. Before the brief break, we had interviews with the characters, and we discussed that there will not be the standard 4 jobs this round. So there were some questions in chat, so I will clarify again what's happening here. So for this next round of jobs, just for game mechanics wise, there is going to be 2 jobs as opposed to 4, and each of these jobs is going to be a larger 2-session job. Each job is going to be played out with the same 4 characters. So for this draft, what they're going to be doing is they're going to be bidding on who gets to pick their partner for the job, and then there will be a second open bid of who gets to pick which job. One job is going to be going into the Sarkora's Scar and trying to find the second half of Roan the Lich's phylactery to make sure that that can get destroyed to weaken him, so that the other group who will be attacking Roan's stronghold directly will have a window to attack him while he is vulnerable and hopefully defeat him once and for all. So 2 jobs we have up here are weaken the soul, going after the phylactery, and defeat the tyrant, which is defeating Roan himself. So in game mechanic wise, you guys parted ways for 2 weeks so that you could gather your information and, game mechanic wise, do your scouting. So you guys are going to be meeting back in 2 weeks. All of you are present again who were there last time, except for Wiz, because he is just so busy with his victory of Mayor of Ravengrow. So you guys are back in the draft house. Emmerich and Physics are on time this time, sitting there awaiting you both. Not you both, all of you. There's more than 2 of you. Anything you guys want to go over before we start the draft, as everybody's kind of filing into the draft house?
Dora will kind of lag behind and try to stop Otis as everyone's going in.
How is she stopping Otis? Like, what is she doing?
She'll kind of like nudge his arm, like, and just sort of like nod.
He will stop. Him and Irina were walking in step, and he will stop and turn and look at
Irina
you.
will also stop.
Yes.
Dura will wait for people to give them some space, and then she will say, I wondered if you found anything on the investigation.
Now, guessing for the gnome finger. Did you happen to notice that it looked exactly like your Wiswazar's finger?
Yes.
Indeed. This is something that is powerful magic. Someone very skilled in this art would have to have done this. Do you know much about the Ravana that you encountered?
The one who did not pay on
Indeed.
the job. Yes.
My sources tell me that she may be responsible. She's working with Roan, I've heard, and I think she's sending you a message. I'm still investigating.
Why to me? Why not Alliance? Why this?
I don't know. Did you say something on that job with her?
I do not remember, but she was a threat, and it is possible I left bad impression.
Are you saying that you overreacted and said,
Otis will stop.
No,
"Bruh,
she was enemy. It is not overreaction.
I would think back on your interaction, and we can reconvene.
I will do this thing.
But keep an eye on Wiz.
I always do. I do not appreciate you telling Emmerich that I am not up for this job.
What do you mean?
He stopped me. Do you remember?
Yes. From a few weeks ago.
He said allies were concerned about my state. If I am up for this thing.
Should we not be? You barged to our guild, frantic, threatening death, if I recall correctly, and we should not be concerned and let the Alliance know. We are just doing our duties. If you feel that you are ready for this, then fine, but Dora, we are just concerned for your well-being, and showing up as you did caused worry.
Indeed.
I do not believe you have ever been concerned for me, Irina. But I am up for this. This is what I do.
I can assure you, Dora, that it was out of straight concern. You've been acting irrational. You've been throwing threats. You are doing exactly what you accuse Irina of doing.
And if you will remember, Irina has done those things also. She has threatened Wiz, but it is all joke. Yes, so it is fine when she does it.
Otis will light a cigar and get ready to walk away and say,
I don't remember a time that Irina came pounding at your door threatening to kill you.
Half out of mind with anger?
It
And
is
Dora.
rage.
You're dangerous. You have the spirit that just overtakes you from time to time. Again,
Farsight
voiced
faction.
our concern.
Company of Honor. Punctuality.
Durha will
Company of Honor is sitting right here and we are ready.
That's
I'm
true.
pretty sure you're talking
Right.
about somebody else, so I'm doing what I'm supposed
Settle
to.
down, Maple. I got confused with Otis.
Once again, Chaya really enjoyed watching that conversation off from a distance.
As they walk in, remember our agreement to investigate this for you.
It is good we are not on next job together. she'll go sit on the opposite side of the room.
Now, is everybody settled? I'm sorry that I got you confused with the Company of Honor, with the Syndicate of Rights, Company of Honor. I got
And
it
I'm
back.
only a little bit
I'm
offended,
still
but
adjusting to Otis's transition into the Syndicate.
See,
I
nice.
thought
Pat,
it
It
would
is
come to these
Company
meetings
of Honor.
inebriated.
It is fine. Continue.
Dora,
Now-
come sit over here.
Emmerich is seated, just kind of letting physics take over at this point. Now, I hope you've all gathered the information that you need for this. We'll be starting immediately into the blind bid for who gets to pick their partner. Just to clarify what's in place here, whoever bids the most will get first pick on any found or claimed treasure. Also, if there's an odd amount of coin paid out between the two of you, the 1 gold difference will go to the primary slot on the job. So let's go ahead and have your blind bids, please. Now, as you guys do this, you guys have coin bags that you're expected to bring up, and each of you brings up an empty coin bag. Physics is gonna kind of pick them up and just like brush them off the podium. I see. No donations. Have you worked it out amongst yourselves then?
If I may, physics.
Yes, you may.
The Arbiter is going to stand and approach the center of the room and turn to face everybody and then say, Paya, the dais, if you would, please.
Of course. And he's going to pull out from his robes a wooden disc. It's like this size, and it has what is the star called?
The Arch Star.
The Arch Star on it. It's a nice, thick slab of wood. It's round. And he's going to bring it up and hold it like this in front of the Arbiter. And he's shorter. And he'll probably kneel too as he holds it in front of her.
Wonderful.
Arbiter?
Out of her cloak, the Arbiter draws what looks like a judge's mallet carved of a fine dark wood, lacquered, polished, and she takes it and she bangs the gavel on the dais. And then a big plume of smoke appears, shrouding her, and she like disappears completely from view. And when she reappears, she's sitting on a large chair that is high backed and carved of the same dark wood. It's got flames, demon faces, or devil faces, and there is like a bench before her, like a judge's bench that's being held up by these carved imps that look like they're being crushed under the weight of it.
Themis, is this you going to hell?
Not yet, darling, but almost there.
Is that necessary? We have a podium.
Mine's better. And then she'll start and say, I, Arbiter Maven Themis, Baroness of the Hesperith Halls, First Order of the Sanctified Lawkeepers of Egorian, and loyal agent of her infernal magistrix, Abigail II, do oversee the formation and execution of an agreement between the authorized representatives of the Company of Honor, Contract Consortium, Foresight Faction, and the Syndicate of Rights. And then she'll bang the gavel again on the table, and in a 20-foot radius, I believe it's 20 feet, a bright red but sort of dim like embers circle appears that all of you are sitting within. And she will look at each of you in turn and say, do you promise to tell the truth with your words and actions, and enter into this agreement with the best interests of the First World Fortune Seekers Alliance in mind, with no dishonesty on your tongue?
Yep.
Yes.
Now, okay. All of you have just been affected by Zone of Truth. I've secretly rolled your saves. If you are able to lie, then I will message you privately in Discord right now. If you do not receive a message from me, you are unable to lie.
This is a very cool desk thing that you have.
I'm so excited for what's gonna
Chair
happen
combo,
next.
all of it.
Thank you.
Portable office.
This is actually I homebrewed this item with Chase. It's the magic item that was gifted to Themis 2 sessions ago.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty
So cool.
rad.
Yes, indeed.
This is so cool.
Okay.
If you're able to lie, it's in your Discord. If you got nothing from me, don't you lie. Not allowed to.
Okay. So do I get yeses from everybody?
Yes.
Yes.
Indeed.
Otis, I believe you're under a silence spell there.
I don't know what happened. Can you please repeat the question in its entirety, verbatim?
You heard the question, Inspector. Your ears have never failed you, and I know that for a fact. Yes or no?
Don't speak to me in such a way. Please
Yes
repeat the question.
or no,
Okay,
Inspector.
Toby's asking. Can you please repeat the question?
Okay, yeah, sure. So the question is, do you promise to tell the truth with your words and actions and enter into this agreement with the best of interests for the First World Fortune Seekers Alliance in mind without dishonesty on your tongue?
Now, you can all choose not to answer. You just can't speak a lie. There's the
You
rules
can
for
plead
Son
the
of Truth.
fifth.
Right. I'm just trying to think of how Otis would approach this. I guess I, Toby, don't understand what this agreement is entailing exactly. Like having the interests of the whole thing in mind. I don't know what that entails. Is that open to interpretation? Like, is this one of those?
But I tell you
truths?
what you're agreeing to, and then you can decide if you're lying or not.
Great.
So it is a very long group of clauses that basically she's written out after meeting with all of you, but I'll give you the abridged and not lying version of it. Essentially, you agree to share and make public to the members of the 4 competing guilds and any and all information obtained by scouting. In addition, any and all costs relating to scouting will be split equally between the 4 guilds, with payment to be rendered on no later than the last day preceding the start of the first scheduled job. During your job, you cannot willingly sabotage or bring harm to any guild member, that is yours or otherwise, and put forward your best actions to fulfillment of the contract as it pertains to defeating and eradicating the Lich, Roan, up to and including destroying the phylactery, blah, blah, blah. While doing your best to ensure the survival of each First World Fortune Seekers Alliance member. In addition, no secret bidding.
Otis knows that to be true with the knowledge I rolled for him.
Okay. Otis will look at Irina.
Yeah, Irina will stand and fold her arms and raise an eyebrow as she always does, stun-faced.
This is something notable that Otis would pick up from that contract language with his knowledge. Your guild ultimate being used on one of these jobs would break this contract.
Yeah, I figured. Otis doesn't say anything.
Interesting.
Maple leans over, like looking a little sus.
I cannot accept this agreement,
To not lie.
for I scouted myself, or will scout myself, and it'll incur no charges. We will not pay for other scouting.
Indeed.
It is more than a matter of coin. Is this not more important?
Otis,
We have done our work.
So does that mean that you're not going to share information, but we will with you? Seems a bit unfair.
We will share all information for free. We expect no cost from those that we are traveling with.
Then why
That
do you
is
have a
my
problem
duty as an inspector,
with saying yes?
because we are not paying for other scouting.
That's fine.
It's in the contract. If I say yes, I'm bound by this contract. And while you may say, good hell to you, I have no intentions of going there soon.
Can you
Good
perhaps
hell
take
to
out
you.
the payment splitting bit, Arbiter?
I suppose if the inspector's going to quibble over a few coin, I can adjust that. So
Send
the
them.
remaining, she'll adjust it to say that the inspector will provide his scouting for free, and the remaining 3 guilds will split the cost of the rest of the scouting equally.
This is well written, Arbiter.
Hmm,
Respect
Just
to you.
seems like Otis has agreed to pay for all the scouting himself instead of splitting it up.
Arbiter, you know me. You and I go way back. I cannot accept this.
Is it not strange to anyone else that this is happening?
Oh yeah.
That
I
here,
just find it
now at
curious
this most
that
important job, the syndicate is so concerned about a few words.
the essence of
Well,
the contract simply entails that you do not willingly harm another alliance member.
That must
I-
come difficult to the syndicate.
Do you intend to harm me, like maybe Leaf?
Dora.
Here is why I cannot accept this. Dora has shown up at the Syndicate of Rights, pounding on doors, threatening to murder myself and Irina.
Oh,
We
I have a question.
witnesses. If I sign this contract, I cannot protect ourselves, as it is written.
All right, then
And
I
that
can
is
add a
concerning.
clause. With the exception of self-defense, the first harmful actor will suffer the consequences. Any and all retaliation in the act of self-preservation shall be permitted.
Oh, I have another question.
Yes.
What about say Otis chance eggs said person on?
The first harmful act
Words
delivered.
count. Cool.
No, words do not
No.
count.
Oh.
No.
Surely your resolve is thicker than your brother's.
Well, yes, but obviously Otis's is not.
Through all of this, as Paya is engaging, and in this conversation, I want to use the lie to me feat and see if I can detect anyone like lying or trying to just, I don't know, not be truthful. Particularly Otis, to see if that's his real motivation with what he's saying.
You can tell with your role. I mean, it's hard to pick up on if he's being truthful. He's carefully walking around, like not speaking truths or lies at the moment. You can tell he is affected by the spell, and it does not seem like he's resisted it.
Okay.
Arbiter, this clause is fine. I will not make first harmful act, as you say. Put this in if this is the thing that
Can
will
your
make them
ancestor
agree.
guarantee the same thing, though? The one who possesses you randomly?
It is not random.
And you have proof?
Dora
Did this
may very well
become...
be held accountable to the actions of her ancestor?
Yes, as I always have. Did this become legal trial of me instead of job draft?
Believe you're the one throwing around accusations.
You tried to make it a trial on us.
I believe you are the ones not agreeing to this contract that everyone
I don't
else
think
is.
the contract consortium or the Company of Honor has the least bit of interest in your personal relationships and your personal squabbles.
I have agreed.
This is about the Lich and the job and the Alliance members who are dying. So if all of you could put your ego aside and sign the contract, we can move on and get paid.
Then you can find someone else.
And Otis stands up and turns to leave.
Emmerich,
Over here,
like,
you little.
buries his
Ugh.
head in his hands. One of you must stay to represent. Whether you sign the contract or not, we're proceeding with the draft. 2 minutes to sort it out.
Oh, if he says that, Otis stops and is standing next to Irina and just stands there silent.
Well, if this is the way it plays out, then perhaps the 3 of our guilds can sign, and Company of Honor or syndicate of rights can not, but the three of us perhaps can choose the jobs we'd like.
You entered into this contract and let Syndicate not agree to harm the other guilds.
Nobody has bid on the partnership. In terms of the partnership, you have to either all agree, all 4 guilds, or it has to be left to chance on who gets to choose their partners.
Otis wants to look at the Arbiter dead in the eyes, still in this truth disc, and say,
Arbiter, I cannot agree. Should that I would, but I cannot.
Tell me why, Inspector.
he doesn't say anything.
Oh, this is boring. Just tell us what the problem is.
Child, hush.
Inspector, you know me just as well as I know you. This behavior from you is not something I expected. After all of our years together, will you not tell me?
Or did I expect you to come in here with a contract that was not discussed previously? I would not have agreed to this.
You didn't expect a contract from the contract consortium.
Not very inspector-like of you at all.
That's Fizz.
And have you brought contracts to every job we've been on?
That is true.
Well, nearly every job, but it hasn't been directed towards you.
Have you brought a contract to every draft we've had?
Not prior to guildmates being killed in a job. No, you are correct on that.
Then why should I expect a different?
As he said, guildmates have been killed.
The
Guildmates-
stipulations of this job draft are different, Otis. I assure you that I understand the difference. And let's not fall into the fallacy of trying to compare apples to oranges. Inspector, this is about a Lich. This contract simply ensures that we suspend, even though the First World Fortune Seekers Alliance insists on this still being a competition, this contract ensures that there's no foul play, that we work together seamlessly. If you don't like the contract, we can edit it. That's what this session is for.
You know that I am under the truth. I cannot lie. And I cannot agree to this contract.
And you won't tell me why. It's fascinating, really.
I am bound by a higher power.
I was so hoping that we could all work together on this job and make it different.
As was
Physics, the time is up. Have them draft. Very well. Can all of you agree on an order of partners, or do we need to put it to chance?
I can tell you what was discussed before, if this is helpful.
Who will have priority slot on retrieving the phylactery? Nominate and we can all agree.
I nominate Contract Consortium.
Does anybody oppose Contract Consortium taking the primary on retrieving the phylactery?
No.
Not at all.
No opposition. Contract Consortium, who do you choose to take as a partner?
Hmm.
The Goldbloods.
The Goldbloods are predisposed with another part of the plan.
Don't they forfeit regularly?
There was one incident 5 years ago.
Oh, I don't care if they forfeit. I just don't want to die.
No intention of harming you, Arbiter.
Oh, this is.
Oh, I don't know that in the least.
If you cannot pick a partner, we will assign one to go with you.
I assure you, we mean you no harm, Arbiter. You should know
I
that
have
from
no
me.
assurance of that.
I'm
You
in a
won't
truth
sign the
bubble.
contract.
I cannot lie to you.
It is not you they mean harm to.
I
think
mean no
is
harm
a-
to the Arbiter or by himself.
So if we add the job agreements to the contract as discussed, will you sign the contract that you don't intend on harming Paya or I?
we will sign that we have no intention of harming you or Paya. We work well together. We enjoy the company.
Absolutely. I can accept that.
Done. So she'll add it to the contract.
So is this a new contract or it's all of the previous stipulations plus?
All of the previous stipulations plus the job assignments. But the edits to the paying for scouting is not there.
Otis can't agree to that. He can't truthfully agree to not harming anybody. He just can't.
Dora stands up and says, Arbiter, is it not clear what is happening? They cannot confess what is on their minds because it is not you and Paya they intend to harm.
Oh, it's clear enough. But so the Themis has added a clause that you won't harm a guild member while on your job.
This I agree.
He looks at Irina.
That is agreeable in terms.
All right. So now physics.
Emmerich is like giving Otis the dirtiest look. He looks disappointed and upset.
If Otis could agree, he would agree, but he can't agree. Like
now, before you sign, I feel, of course, that all of the terms of the contract should be fair. So now that everyone agrees on no harming other guild mates on the job you're on, payment is fair, we're taking this job, you're taking that. Does everyone understand where we are?
Sure, I'm
like
engaged,
flaming
but sure.
points of the contract out and rewriting them. And
all right. Any breach of the clauses above will result in the forfeiture of any of the infracting individual's assets, gains, and profits earned, received, or otherwise accumulated as a result of participation in the competition, including and not limited to job payments, spoils, or other assets obtained while engaged in the competition, including capital acquired from the completion of jobs, any and all funds donated to your guild, and your clothes. Additionally, you renounce any titles or claims and forfeit your membership to the First World Fortune Seekers Alliance.
so for everybody's understanding, you forfeit the competition, you leave the First World Fortune Seeker Alliance, you lose your clothes, and you give everything that you've obtained on the competition.
Love the clothes aspect.
Fair enough. Can we move this along?
Certainly.
Thank you.
Paya would like to be the first to sign.
Yes,
After
what
Arbiter.
Talvin said.
You may sign.
He is going to prick his finger and sign it in blood.
Oh, beautiful.
Maple looks at her hand. Do I need to do that too?
Yes.
Ugh. She'll do it with one of her claws and sign her name.
Talvin will let out a little whistle, and his hummingbird will fly out of his front pocket and prick his finger and sign his name for him.
I love the bird.
Thank you, Atticus.
Dora waits for Otis and Irina to sign.
Otis will gesture his hand forward.
After you, Dora.
Yes, sooner to my suicide mission. Huh? And she'll take out her dagger and just kidding. She doesn't have a dagger. She's going to take out her relic weapon and turn it into a dagger and then cut her hand.
Huge
and
sword
sign.
turns into a little dagger.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
it goes
Do
into
not-
water.
Do not worry. We will be with you. I'm
I
sure
got
our
you,
combined
Dora.
force will be enough.
It is not who will be with me that is concerning, but what will be against me. She
She needs
looks at Otis and Irina.
Do you and Wiz want to sleep over a company of honor? Will that make you feel
She
better?
does not respond. She just goes back to her seat.
Watch your paranoia, Dora. And Irina will prick her finger on her symbol of Norgriber, spider leg, and sign.
Ooh, the thing sharp.
So everybody signed. The clauses have been made and changed.
I
and
beg
agreed
your
upon.
pardon.
Oh, sorry, Themis.
Otis hasn't signed.
Oh, Otis has not signed yet. Okay, yeah.
He was about to get away with it. Look at his face.
Otis pulls out a wasp, a holy symbol, and pokes his finger and will sign. But before he signs, we didn't agree to pay for everyone's scouting. Just throwing that out there. So if that's in there, needs a change, he'll sign.
Yeah, you won't be paying for anything.
Yeah.
Any scouting costs will be split between the remaining 3 guilds.
Great.
This has been the most legal session of Pathfinder I've ever had.
Right?
It's been great.
Okay.
And Paya also just standing next to Otis is gonna just kind of offhandedly say like, "Oh, isn't it so sad about Leaf?"
Otis is still in the truth, and he'll be like,
Yep.
It is incredibly sad. I drank for weeks. I will miss him.
Terrible tragedy.
Fizz is like irritatedly like tapping a coin on the podium.
Okay. The Arbiter will scratch the quill along her arm and then sign the contract. And it will start to like slowly fizzle up from the bottom because it's like hanging in front of everybody. So it'll start to slowly like smoke and ember away. With the authority vested in me by Her Infernal Excellency and the Grand Council of Absalom, with my signature, the agreement is now in effect. And then she'll step off the podium and it will vanish in a puff of smoke.
Which means the zone of truth is now vanished as well.
All right, we can all lie again.
No need.
Oh.
Okay. Physics taps the coin and looks around a little extra time, tapping it irritatedly. Are you all set then?
No, good sir. I do believe that you still need the priority job on the priority slot on the next job.
I'm saying,
which
are we
will
good
give-
to move on?
Which we will
rookies?
give to the Foresight faction.
These people not respecting their elders.
Well, before we move on to that, we need the contract consortium to pick their partners officially. All I just saw was them sign a contract.
Apparently you weren't paying attention.
Well, and the Syndicate of Rights was listed as our partner in the contract. I understand physics. Your little
It was a
fucking
lot
hearing.
of words written down,
Lots of
wasn't
words.
it?
Make sure you pay attention to
I'm
the
not
fine
wearing my
print.
glasses, all right?
Oh, of course, I understand physics.
He did mistake the Company of Honor for the Syndicate of Rights earlier.
It's
I
true.
hope that doesn't happen again.
It
Officially,
won't.
physics, for the record, the Syndicate of Rights will be our partners.
So we have the contract consortium with the primary slot on destroying the phylactery, joined by the Syndicate of Rights. Any more legal things that need to happen, or are you all set?
No, once the contract is signed and it's disappeared, that usually signals the end of the legal discourse.
Yes, that is how they handled in Chiliax, is it not? Very well, moving on. Now, Foresight Faction and Company of Honor. I'm sorry, Talavin. I'm feeling short. Do not make a pun about it. I mean my temperament.
You didn't tell me not to.
Can you agree upon which one of you will be taking the primary slot, or do we need to leave it to chance?
No, we will give it to the Foresight faction.
Very well. Foresight Faction, you have primary slot on defeating Roan himself. And that puts Contract Consortium, not Contract Consortium, I'm all jumbled today. You've all been strange.
Oh,
Company
you
of Honor
forgot
will
your
be joining them.
glasses.
Yes, you don't have to bring that up, Paya.
He doesn't have
you
a pile
did.
of coin to count. That's all he's good at.
Very well. We have Contract Consortium and Syndicate of Rights trying to destroy the phylactery. We have Foresight Faction and Company of Honor going after Roan himself. Emmerich, would you like to take it from here? Yes, thank you, Physics. I wish I could say I was proud of how this went down today, but I think you all know how I'm feeling about it.
Pretty bad.
This is important. This is one of the biggest villains that our alliance has ever seen, next to Shadara.
Curse her
I hope
name.
that you all have each other's safety in mind. If one of you fails, so does the other. Keep that in mind. Now, going after Roan puts a lot of trust in the other two. I don't know if he can't be beat if they don't succeed on the phylactery. We defeated him once before, but at the very least, we may not be able to put him down for good. Both of your jobs are important, and I hope you treat them as such. The competition should be in the back of your minds at this point. We will pay well for it to both of you, and we will continue on with the competition in full force once this is resolved. Do you have any final questions for me?
Or
Yeah,
go ahead.
Are you done growing?
Who are you speaking to?
That was the wrong
She's
one.
looking over at physics.
Am I done growing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's a shame.
Child.
I'm in my late stages of life.
Oh no, you're gonna get shorter.
No.
Doris
I hope you learn on your adventures, Maple.
Doris stands and raises her sword and sarcastically says, "For the Alliance," and then marches out, kicking the door open on her way.
For the Alliance, indeed. Final bits of information. As soon as we were prepared, Contract Consortium and Syndicate of Rights will be teleporting you to the edge of the Sarkora's Scar. You'll be meeting the contact who has the location of the phylactery. We have paid him well to make sure that he escorts you directly to the shrine. It's going to be dangerous. Once you're inside the shrine, Kara has given us an item for you to take in that will allow her to teleport into the shrine. She'll then be there helping with a ritual to destroy the phylactery. According to our intel, he has strong magic around it. The rest of you, you'll be heading with the rest of the Alliance and all of the guild members participating to Roan's stronghold directly. We plan on waging all-out war on his stronghold. You'll be slipping in as we cause a distraction. Prepare yourselves. It's going to be dangerous, but I know we can do it. He's going to give like the standard Alliance salute of like a fist over the right breast. Give a slight bow. Everyone is dismissed.
If I may, Emmerich,
Yes.
our contact in Sarkoris,
Yes.
will you share his file with me?
Absolutely. I'll give you all the information we have.
Thank you.
Indeed. Dismissed, everyone. He's going to go walking out. All right. That will wrap up our job draft 4. Thank you, players, for a wonderful session. So for our viewers, thank you guys for sticking around. That was one of our more interesting job drafts for sure. So next week, we will be joined by the Contract Consortium and the Syndicate of Rights. They're going to be going into the Sarkor Star to begin their journey to destroying the phylactery. This will be a 2-part session, but we will be breaking them up in alternating weeks. So we'll have part 1 of the phylactery next week. The following week, we will have part 1 of attacking Roan. The following week, we'll have the second part of the phylactery, and we'll finish off this round of jobs with the actual confrontation with Roan on the final part of that job. So it should be exciting. Also, we have a lot of wonderful guests lined up for each of these sessions. Every one of these sessions, we have a special guest who will be joining the players, and it should be fun. I think that's it. Anything else to add, players?
No, not me.
Good hell,
Thanks for
everyone.
watching.
Yes, indeed. Give me 1 second here. I had one thing I wanted to mention, and I'm trying to decide if it's what I wanted to add this session or the next. No, I had it for next session, so we're good. Yeah, guys, thanks for watching. If you'd like to support our channel, please follow or subscribe on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and all of that. If you can also show your support by purchasing dice and accessories from one of our affiliate partners. After all, if you're going to help us, you might as well get some fancy math rocks out of it. You'll find those links as well as our Patreon in the discount section below, or if you're watching back on YouTube, in the description. If you're already doing one or all of these things, thank you a ton. Your support means the world. You guys have all been great. We have such wonderful Patreon supporters, subscribers. Thank you guys for interacting with the chat. It makes it so much fun. Now go take a long rest. Go prepare to fight a Lich, and we'll catch you next time.
And drink your water.
Yes, drink water.
Lots
Yes.
of water.
Hydration
and
is key.
wine.
Because it gets hot in hell.
Cut
Why-
it there.